Hello, Kerbalords, and welcome to part 25 of Mining the Man and More. Look, Kerbin has got clouds. Awesome. Okay, so we're starting this episode off with launching of another module for our asteroid base. And in particular, this is our hotel module. Yes, we've got a storage area for everyone to store their belongings or whatnot, and that's where the shower is, or something, I don't know. Leisure facilities and all sorts. Anyway, we've got 4 connected, what do you call it? Penthouses, I suppose, because it's high above Kerbin? Yeah, we'll call them penthouses. We got 4 attached penthouses, which will be available in microgravity, where the microgravity is going to be provided by the asteroid itself. Anyway, I'm not sure what else modules to add. This is going to be things made up and just to be the right length so they can reach around the entire asteroid, connect on the other end, and, well, you get the meaning. Okay, so what have we got installed for you? Anyway, we've got explosive demolishing, and we have the first attempt at a rigging station. Now, let me know what you think about that in this episode. I was thinking of doing experiments in my recently introduced Crash series, which is Kerbal Research and Snacking Heroes. Yeah, it's done an X15 with that. I'm not entirely sure where we're going to go with that series. It's more of experiments and whatnot. Anyway, while we're doing that, let's read out the comments. Start reading out some comments. Well, first off, a Moist Banana, what kind of mods do you use? And I can't seem to find any that actually work with the normal KSP parts. Now, I'm not entirely sure what I mean by normal KSP parts, but the mods I use, MechJub, handy. We've got Kerbal Engine Redux, which gives you a lot of useful information. Kerbal Attachment System, which is what I'm using by here to attach the struts to the space station and the asteroid. Then we got the Kerbal Inventory System, which is allowing the Kerbal to actually handle these parts. Yep, awesome staff mods and whatnot. They're the mods I really love. I also advise the Kerbal Environmental Enhancements, which gave you the clouds on Kerbin, and also there's Infernal Robotics. Now, I do have a couple of other mods, which I can't remember. I think one's a camera mod, and I think the other one was the Squad Official Asteroid Scanning mod. Oh, by here, I couldn't transfer the Kerbal to the penthouse suite. That was mean of them. The connections must be blocked somehow. Or perhaps they need to be docked somehow. I don't know. Anyway, it seems a bit bad. Anyway, what we've got here is we're going to attach the explosive to the rocket by here, because I forgot to put a MechJub on it, so I can't deorbit it. But let's get to one more comment from Andrew Sell, a great video man. Awesome, thanks. I finally got my asteroid. Credit to you, of course. No credit to you, because if you got an asteroid, that means you've done the hard work. Now, I used tutorials before to get my first asteroid, because I wasn't entirely sure how to do it. I think I used Scott Manley's, or a couple of videos anyway. Okay, we have attached the demolition explosives to the rocket. Now we have to get the Kerbal out the way, undock it, or decouple it. And hopefully that explosion is not going to damage our station. Okay, come on, are we going to explode? Oh, yes! Awesome things. And obviously do not get sound in space, which means that we don't hear any explosion whatsoever. Okay, unless you wait in Kerbal Space Program. Then you hear the explosions. Anyway, let's get Sean Kerbin back into the asteroid space station. Okay, so what have we got? Another comment from Thomas Ferry. Have you ever thought of maybe moving on to Junior and fully exploiting the moon? After fully exploiting the moon, I also think slowly hopping planets in order, mining every single one, and have orbital fuel stations all along the way. That sounds like an awesome idea. And that's where I was planning on doing. Oh, here. I docked this after that. I didn't video that. But this is an RCS pod for a Kerbal. We may use that in the future. So I want to go on to other places, but there's a couple of projects I want to do first. The first of which is this ring station. Now, if you can see by here, I've angled parts and I cleverly used the size couplers and whatnots and used the offset tools to create this ring apparatus. Now, I thought for the first station, I think this is a bit too big for what we want to do. I think a test station would be in order first. So I decided to use the smaller penthouse suites. Oh, don't know what else to call them. So yeah, we're going to build a ring station. This is going to be the simple first one. Simply just put these into orbit and attach them. Oh yeah, we need a center core, obviously, because if we want to expand the station, we can do so by adding more rings, or perhaps larger rings. It could be not just a single ring. However, with the limitations of Kerbal Space Program 1.05, I think the FPS is slow. It's rather slow on the stations I've got at the moment, so yeah. We're going to have to make do with something small for the time being, until 1.1 comes out. Okay, another comment from Carl Hodung. Oh, sorry. From Carl. Thanks for the shout out on the last vid. Keep up the good work. Awesome, dude. Thank you. I will keep up the good work. In fact, let's do some more good work. Let's launch the first center stage of a ring station. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh yes, that's one thing I wanted to mention, and maybe I do a video on it sometime. And that is doing a gravity turn, the proper way to launch. Now, there's some misconceptions about gravity turn. I think that you're turning to use the gravity, which yes is fine, that is correct. But also, gravity turning means using the gravity itself to turn your rocket, which means that you launch, you start your angle, you start your gravity turn, and then gravity itself will slowly turn your rocket as you're boosting up. And in fact, I tried it. Obviously, you're going to have to keep control of it, make sure you're pointing at your prograde vector, and I think NASA does that as well. Awesome, decouples. So yeah, I might do a video on that, a tutorial, because I've worked out a way in the next 2 launches after this one, doing a proper gravity turn. As you can see by here, I'm actually not doing awesome on the gravity turn. I'm not going to the prograde vector, so I'm wasting fuel by here, but that doesn't matter because we have plenty. And I think we'll put this station into a 300 kilometer orbit. Yeah, the reason I want to do a 300 kilometer orbit is because we'll have some awesome views of Kirby below us. Anyway, let's get to another comment as we get into space. Okay, from David Mason. Love the way you include fun things like Easter eggs in a Let's Play. He's got his new PC available of it, and he's going to go through all the space station asteroid-based videos to recreate. Don't try to recreate them 100%. Try to do engineer your own, make your own unique designs, and perhaps improve upon them, especially the launch systems. Like the one I used to launch this one, can be quite unstable, and you have to keep your hands on the control. And that's one thing I have to get into, I suppose, and perhaps ways of making a much more stable launch system. Also, he goes into saying things, saying, I also thought you'd have more subs. Yeah, I'm not too bothered about that. I got 3,000 at the moment, so, you know, I'm doing pretty well. Under a year, I got 3,000 subs. So. But that's not the entire reason why I started this. Subs is awesome. It spurs me on to do some more great things in space. But it's not what I started it for. I like it because there aren't many other people crowding the comments. Yeah, that means I can also reply to comments. Once I get to my millions of subscribers, which will probably never happen, I will have trouble answering everyone's comments. And I try to answer as many as I can as I go through. Sorry if I'm a bit late answering comments on YouTube because, well, I've got a job, I've got to juggle life as well. And Kerbals. Making these videos take quite a bit of time as well. Okay, also Aaron. On the landing, apparently it is most efficient to come in as low as possible over target and kill all horizontal velocity, effectively falling on top of the target, and then completely suicide burn at the last second. Suicide burns it's in the name. It's suicidal. Anyway, we've got the core of the station up there. So I'll finish off his comment. I can't do it like that. I assume it means the landing. Although I strive to have made many successful landings. Oh yes, I almost forgot. We had a failure of the links to the arms to the outside of the station. And watch this. When we're going to enter the water, boom. Yes, the fairing disappeared. We sank to the bottom of the ocean, which gives me ideas of sort of like launching a rocket and creating a submersible, perhaps. Because that stuff sank. Yeah, I was perplexed by that. But anyway, here we go. This is the gravity turn. I set the rocket here to follow the prograde vector using the SAS. And so I got extra controls in it, but the computer's keeping control of it. However, we're doing a nice stable gravity turn. All we have to do is control the throttle so we don't overexert aerodynamic forces so the rocket doesn't flip out. Yep, awesome stuff. And if anyone could tell me for the life of me how you launch into an inclined orbit accurately to get in the correct inclination, please let me know. That's the only real thing I'm struggling with at the moment. Yes, even the awesome guys aren't so awesome. Anyway, some people, as Aaron said, he has to use MechJeb to get close to a pinpoint landing. Pinpoint landings aren't too hard. It's practice, practice, practice. And that's what I had to do. First couple of pinpoint landings were either crashes or millions of miles away. Anyway, Patriot03, he says suicide burns in which you wait until the last possible second are the most efficient, which is correct. However, they're suicidal, so you don't do. I believe a high thrust-to-weight ratio helps with gravity losses too. I'm not entirely sure that has to be experimented. Higher thrust-to-weight ratios means you have to use more powerful rockets, larger rockets, which are less efficient then for the fuel you have. So yes and no, it's a balance, it's hard, it's not as simple. And of course this is a dangerous maneuver, so carry extra fuel for the sake of safety. Yes, and that reduces your thrust to weight ratio, so that's awkward. And while we're doing the docking here, from Logan Carr, how do you upload at 3 AM? I didn't. I scheduled the video. You think, I don't live in Scotland. So no, I live in South Wales. So I'm a Celt. I can't do a Welsh accent. I'll do your bloody car. I can't do a Welsh accent. Some people say I've got Welsh accent. Some people say I'm Dutch. I don't know where I am. I live in South Wales, so we have less of a Welsh accent, I suppose you could say. But no, I was experimenting upload time, so nothing extreme but there. Also from George and OC, it's interesting watching your technique on precision landing. Mine is much different. Instead of coming up from straight off below orbit, I'd drop in a real low orbit, but where I want to land and come into tight. I do a full burn until stop, and then once I'm above, I suicide burn a few seconds before I release. Oh, I might hit the ground, which I used to do. In fact, coming low over the man. Lowering your orbit is advisable. That's what NASA used to do with the Apollo missions. Okay, so we've got the arms on in. Now it's time to get some of the modules up to orbit to dock to there. So going back to Jordan or Xenor 66. Yes, coming low orbit, so that means you have less energy to kill. But however, the lower you are, the faster your orbit is. So, yeah, coming from high orbit and getting a straight down trajectory may waste a lot more fuel, but it makes it for easier pinpoint landing. At least from my thing. And then another one, Virex 67. The suicide burn method of landing is supposedly more efficient. Yes, it is, at the risk of crashing. Depends on how confident you are. Not very, sorry. And there are contract mods to add space hotels. Yeah, I just added a suite to the asteroid base. And contract pack tourism plus, etc, etc. And for some reason, I have a black screen. Oh, here we are. It just come from black for me in post-editing. Okay, so here we are. I launched these modules up into orbit. As you saw, I got a close approach. Now this is the mad part. All comments have been read out. So what we're going to do, using MechJeb on these LRTS modules are terrible. Anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to use the claw, attach it to one of these modules, put it in lock mode so we can orientate ourselves correctly. And we're going to catch one of these after we decouple it from the rocket and then dock it. Okay, here we go. Jet us on. And no, come on. Oh, this is a weird part. See, we're bouncing it around. Come on, I'm just ramming it by here. By the way, this is 4 times speed, so it wasn't spinning that far out of control. So we're coming in for docking. Now, guys, let me know if you like this design. This is more of an experiment at the moment. If you want me to, I'll do a video on how to build this. But actually, taking this into orbit piece by piece and docking it up, you have to angle those, at least the first 2 modules, or most of them actually, you have to angle most of them directly straight on. Yeah, and the claw, you saw the claw animation was mucked up then. You have to disarm it and rearm it. But this time, let's capture the module first, then decouple it. I think that was a bit of a sensible move, don't you? Yes, even I have to learn from my mistakes. Okay, so if you can see by here, I'm trying to align it. You got the angle on the docking alignment tool, and I have to get that as close to 90 as possible. And see, we've got it at 90, and it docked at 89.6. Now that has to do a full circuit. If that is out of alignment too much, we may not get them docking. Hopefully they're flexible enough, but we'll see. Anyway, now we can use the docking port. Although I suppose I could have used the docking port in the first place. I just really wanted the challenge of using the claw. The claw knows all. The claw chooses. But yeah, if you want to do it this way, it's possible. As you can see, it looks good. It looks in alignment. But the proof isn't in the pudding. And we're gonna have rice pudding. Although, yeah, I've got a tin of rice pudding in my cupboard. I've been fancying it. Anyway, you're coming closer. That's one thing. Even though these modules are close, they will drift apart. This is the problem when you come for close approaches and docking. It doesn't work the way you think it is. Thrusting towards something while it's far off won't get you closer, and NASA had problems with this. So yeah, I may have to do a tutorial again on that. Perhaps simplifying it, or perhaps including further steps. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to get back on the tutorial run. But anyway, you can see by here, I'm trying to dock this, and I'm trying to get the angle again correct. But this is going to be difficult. If I pull this off, that would be amazing. So anyway, guys, this is a bit of a shorter episode. So if you enjoy this, if you think this is awesome, hit the like button. I'll let you deal with that one as well. Subscribe if you haven't. Blah 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 blah. Ooh, and the sunrise run is the sun is rising. Awesome. Just as we docked the last unit. Anyway, I'm Orbital. Trust me, I'm a circular station engineer.